50% of the learners have been placed in the STEM pathway, 25% in social sciences, and 15% in arts and sports.
Mtoto anaweza fanya kitu yote, akue fundi, apike chakula, kila kitu. Sasa sasa anafunza kile mtoto anaweza fanya.
Most of them are prepared. As for preparation and readiness for the system, we are very much ready, and we want to assure the parents that the students will get whatever they require.
In Kisii and Nyamira counties, school heads are welcoming learners but raising concerns over a shortage of teachers in technical and creative subjects. KNUT Secondary School Principal Evans Angwenyi says while science teachers are adequate, there's a deficit in areas such as music, sports science, electricity, woodwork, and arts.
Tutoring does not apply to the subjects that you are not trained in. Kwa CBE naomba turudi tufanye subjects zingine ambazo siko na demand ya employment. Watoto wetu wasikae nyumbani sana, wafikirie kuwa madaktari ndio kazi peke yake. Kuna kazi zingine hapo katikati.
In Busia, teachers have urged the government to equip schools with computer and science laboratories, especially for institutions offering science pathways. Speaking during grade 10 enrollment at Luanya Girls National School in Nasewa Secondary in Matayo's constituency, the educators said the shift from the 844 system to CBE is learner-centered and support diverse talents.
For having seen the need to shift from the conventional 844 to CBC, because one, it's going to open our space for those with diverse talents, for those that can be accommodated in class, and even for those who cannot make it to the higher levels of learning.
In Tharaka Nithi, at least 200 grade 10 students have been admitted at the Mugona Girls High School, with the school's principal Lucy Maniki calling on the students to take the learning challenge head-on.
When we come to school, we put on uniform to make us the same, to make us look equal. But never ever forget where you have come from, because we are coming from different backgrounds with different challenges. My desire is that you work hard to go back home and make your home a better place than it is today.
And still on education, at least 30 students studying under the Usawa kwa Wote program have attained mandatory university grade in the just announced KCSE examination results in Kericho County. A total of 45 students are under the program. Speaking during the celebrations at Chemosot in Bureti sub-county, Kericho woman representative Beatrice Kemei said the program, which is funded by the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, NGAF, targets the needy from vulnerable families.
I want to appreciate the work done to make sure that our students passed. I also want to say that in the program, the Usawa kwa Wote program, it is for those coming from vulnerable families, and we are not only giving full scholarship. I also extend a hand that is now from my pocket to give them maybe whatever they require.
And 400 learners from needy and vulnerable backgrounds have received a major boost after securing full secondary school scholarships from Safaricom M-Pesa Foundation. Safaricom Director for Sustainable Business and Social Affairs, Karen Bathie, said the program is designed to support academically gifted learners who face financial and social challenges that threaten their education. Under the expanded initiative, 150 learners will be admitted to the M-Pesa Foundation Academy in Thika, while the remaining students will be placed in other partner secondary schools across the country.
My teacher alinisaidia kabisa, sababu hata hiyo wakati tulikuwa tunaenda interview, mamangu hakuwa na chochote, lakini yeye aling'ang'ana akanipeleka interview, so namwambia asante pia sababu alinisaidia.
I'm really happy to be here right now. I'm a member of the M-Pesa Foundation Academy, and I'm gonna do my best.
In the 3 years, for the 250, we have set aside $500 million shillings for 3 years. But if I put it cumulatively, it hits 1 billion shilling investment in the scholarship. But for us, we don't look at it from the numbers, we look at the scholars. And we're going to, in 3 years, we'll have transformed 1,200 students across the country.
And from education matters to security, where 3 men from Diani in Kwale County have surrendered to authorities after they abandoned the Panga Boys gang that has been terrorizing area residents. The 3 now join another 40 that abandoned the gang last year. While receiving them, Msambweni Police Commander Robinson Langat has urged more to follow suit. He at the same time called on parents to be vigilant and ensure they are present in their children's lives to prevent them from resulting to crime.
Kwa sahi salimika na naomba wale wote ndio wakwaza ama ndio wakosea ndio wafanywa uhalifu wote, pia naomba nisamehe kwa moyo mmoja.
Na pia mtu labda kama anishuku kwa sahi, yani naongea hapa kwenye vyombo vya habari, yani na viongozi hapa hapo, naamua kujiuzulu kwa moyo wangu mmoja.
Nimeamua nibadilike kwa sababu nimeona nafaa niona maisha mbeleni na nijenga maisha yangu kama mtu anayetegemewa katika jamii. Na ningependa kuambia vijana wenzangu, huku tulikokuja ni salama, na ukijisalimisha hausumbuliwi na yoyote na unaachwa huru uendelee na maisha yako.
Hii namba ukiona wanaendelea kuongezeka wale wanajisalimisha, ni ile pressure tunawawekea maofisa wangu, tunaweza kuwekea pressure, ndio naona wanaanza kuona uhalifu ni mbaya. Na vile wamejisalimisha namna hii, ina maana sasa diani yetu itakuwa salama, na yeyote ambaye bado anajihusisha na uhalifu very soon tutakukamata.
Still at the coast, a middle-aged woman has died in a dawn inferno that razed the millennial area of Diani, Kwale County. According to eyewitnesses, efforts to save the 40-year-old woman proved futile due to the intensity of the fire that has since left families homeless and property of unknown value destroyed. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, even as residents appeal to the Kwale County government to come to their aid of those affected.
Lala na huyo kuna jirani akaanza kupiga nduru, akasema nifungulieni, nachomeka kwa nyumba. Nyumba yangu imeshika moto. Dakika kidogo tukitoka hivi kufika hapo kwa mlango yake, tumejaribu kufungua huo mlango, umeshindikana. Lakini huo mlango, huo nyumba yake ilishashika moto kabisa.
Tulitanza moto mimi. Afadhali angekuwa angetuambia, lakini hayupo. Naomba tu kama serikali zatusaidia, watusaidie.
Majirani hawa wataanzia wapi? Starting from zero kifamilia. Kuna wanawake ama kuna wazazi ambao wako na watoto zaidi ya 3. Bedding zote zimepotea na kila kitu imepotea. Mtu ameweza kuokoa uhai wake peke yake.
Moving on to county number 14, where a 28-year-old man from Embu County has completed a 90-hour tree-hugging craze to push for development in the area. Eric Monene from Siambongo village, Mbere North, ended the challenge on Monday morning after enduring harsh weather, hunger and exhaustion, drawing cheers from hundreds of residents. Take a look.
Hours in Siambugi village, 28-year-old Eric Munene clung to a tree under the scorching sun and the biting night cold. His body pushed to the edge, but his resolve unbroken. Hunger gnawed, exhaustion weighed heavy, yet he held on to advocate for better roads, water, electricity in the region. When he finally descended, villagers erupted in songs and cheers. Munene says this was aimed at lobbying for basic services in the arid region, including health facilities, tarmac roads, reliable water supply and electricity.
Kusudi yake kufanya hivyo, aliona wakaanzi wa Siambugu wanateseka sana kwa sababu mbalimbali.
His action has won praise from residents and leaders who hope it will lead to tangible development.
Naomba watimize hiyo ndoto ya hiyo kijana kwa sababu mimi niliona akona maono kubwa.
After completing the challenge, a visibly frail Munene was taken to Embu Level 5 hospital for medical checks. Residents have urged both county and national governments to act on the concerns raised. For Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Congratulations to Munene and hope his efforts bear fruits. And still on matters trees, farmers are being urged to clear eucalyptus trees along riverline or near any water source and instead replace them with indigenous trees such as the Meru oak and African olive that has immense benefits to both the farmer and the environment. Speaking during a community outreach in Mount Kenya Forest, Kirinyaga County environmentalist led by Karatina University Dean of Natural Resources, Dr. Flora Namo, noted that the eucalyptus tree are draining the underground water sources in a very big way, leading to diminishing water in rivers and other catchment areas. Dr. Namo likened the eucalyptus trees to water pumps which drain water from the underground and wetlands.
The main reason that we came here is that we want to promote environmental awareness on some of the trees that may be adopted by the community over the latest. As you all know, we have been trying to reach the 15 billion target trees, and today I'm sure we have gone a step forward.
But the consequences of that is that they are draining water from our wetlands, from our rivers, and that's why you see like now, our adjacent river, River Ragati, the water volume has gone very down. So we are here with community leaders. We have community members like this Muzee to show them you can remove eucalyptus and plant indigenous trees, which has benefit to you.
And still on environmental conservation, the government has intensified efforts to cushion arid and semi-arid lands ourselves against the effects of drought by accelerating the construction of water pans and strengthening the protection of key water towers. Irrigation Principal Secretary Ephantas Kemotho says the department has already dug hundreds of water pans in drought-prone regions, including Kajiado County, which is currently experiencing severe dry conditions. The initiative aims to improve water availability for communities and livestock during prolonged dry spells. The government is also promoting the use of shade nets around water pans and the conservation of surrounding water towers to reduce evaporation and environmental degradation. Speaking at Ololua Forest in Ngong, PS Kemotho reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting and increasing forest cover as part of the broader climate mitigation measures.
Tumefanya a lot of water pans in Kajiado County across, tukianzia Kajiado West. Kajiado West, I think we've done over 30. Tukienda huko Kajiado South, we've done also quite a number. So across board tumefanya water pans mingi sana. Lakini tunataka kuweka zile zitangwa shade net, ndiposa hii maji baada ya kwenda 6 months iende 1 year. Ukiweka shade net, it reduces the evaporation part, and that now enhances sustainability.
Moving on, flower farm workers in Naivasha have threatened to stop paying union dues, accusing Kenya Plantations and Agricultural Workers Union KPAW of failing to address low salaries and poor working conditions. Workers are now calling on the Labour Cabinet Secretary to intervene and inspect working conditions. The workers say branch elections were abruptly cancelled and are demanding fresh pause within 14 days, warning they will withhold contributions if ignored. Lakeview MCA Alex Mbogwa says aging union leaders have ignored workers despite billions in sector earnings, leaving many to survive on less than 6,000 shillings a month.
Huko
Mr. Atuoli, nataka kukuomba hiyo uchaguzi cancel mara moja. Na sisi kama wafanya kazi wa Naivasha branch tuko pamoja na tuko kidete na tuko tayari na nia na lengo ya kuchagua kiongozi ambaye atatuongoza hapa kama branch secretary.
Chiefs wanyako hapa ni karibu chiefs 10. Watu ambao wako msituni ni chief 3. Musa, tafadhali utusaidie. Kama utusaidii, hii plantation Kenya Flowers imeisha. Tafadhali kwenye huko utusikie. Tuko na machungu. Hatutachaguliwa branch secretary mwenye hatujui.
And widows in the Nyanza region have a reason to smile following the launch of the Raymond Omolo Foundation that seeks to address the plight and ensure they access ownership, inheritance opportunities, and economic support. According to the foundation's lead coordinator, Pitalis Ogendo, the foundation has taken up responsibility of purchasing lands, building homes, and offering financial support for small businesses. This, he says, will help widows become self-reliant, escape loneliness, and reduce exposure to abuse and exploitation.
There are around over 10 orphans who school fees are going to be paid for today. So the issue of school fees is another thing, the issue of home, and also we also empower the widows. Like we have here around 10 widow groups, whom we had met last year in November, and we empowered them. We gave them money, at least to help them in their table banking activities.
Mzee wangu alikufa 2015 mpaka wa leo. Aliniacha na watoto 3 wangu na 2 wa bibi mwenza. Kwa ukweli sikukuwa na udongo ya kujengewa, na Mr. Victor amefanya vizuri sana, akanitafutia hadi pahali ya kujenga.
Moving on, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, has strongly opposed recent court orders that bar public institutions from engaging private legal practitioners, terming the move unconstitutional, discriminatory, and a threat to access to justice. Addressing the media, LSK officials led by President Faith Odhiambo raised concerns about what they described as growing judicial overreach and impunity. The conservatory orders issued on Monday by Justice Samuel Mukira at the Nakuru High Court temporarily halted public entities from hiring external legal counsel, a move LSK says unfairly targets the legal profession, while other professionals such as doctors, engineers, and architects continue to be engaged by government agencies.
In the petition, the petitioners raise issues of the existence of a fully employed state and county council, high legal fees, and the need for fiscal responsibility as ground to deny private practicing advocates a role in nation building for fair gain. From the onset, we note that beyond their evident lack of novelty and ingenuity, these grounds are symbolic of a tired rhetoric against a profession that unreservedly dedicates itself to upholding constitutional values and protecting public interest.
Why discriminate on one profession, on one body of profession? That is the question that we are asking. It is completely preposterous.
Residents of Quisero constituency in Kakamega County have expressed relief following the operationalization of the Quisero Magistrate Court, which has now officially begun hearing cases. Before Magistrate Angeline Odawo, suspects facing minor offenses reported at Quisero Police Station were formally charged with some taking plea and being fined accordingly. Locals have welcomed the move, saying the court will help resolve minor disputes within the constituency, including land-related cases, petty theft, and domestic disagreements in a timely and affordable manner.
Defilement cases, rape cases na incest cases ni mingi sana hapa Quisero. So tunaomba cases yote ya defilement which are there, hatuwezi kataa, ziko mingi sana hapa Quisero, ziletwe kotini, na wale ambao wanapatikana na makosa kama hayo wafungwe ndiposa iwe funzo kwa wengine.
Tumekuwa tukijaribu kutafuta haki. Ukiangalia upande wa kutembea, tulikuwa tunaenda sehemu mbalimbali ukitafuta haki hii. Lakini leo hii tunashukuru ya kwamba haki hii imekuja mikononi mwetu, imekuja karibu na sisi. Ndiposa utapata ya kwamba kesi nyingi zitaweza kuendelea kwa ajili ya kwamba tumepunguza hali ya usafiri kutoka hapa hadi kule Butere ama Kakamega kwa minajili ya kutafuta haki.
Moving on, the future of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NG-CDF, has once again come into sharp focus with education stakeholders in Wundanyi, Taita Taveta County, warning that scrapping the fund could severely affect learners from vulnerable families. Speaking during an Education Day forum where the Simawukiwa Education Support Program was launched, NG-CDF Board Director Mokuha Gabriel Kago criticized the Council of Governors for moving to court to challenge the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NG-CDF, without outlining a clear alternative to support education for needy learners. Wundanyi MP Danson Mwashako called on parents to ensure all children are enrolled and attending school, noting that education remains a shared responsibility between leaders and families.
Wale ambao wametoka Nyache location
kufuma na kawa nasina Mwashako.
Nyinyi Council of Governors, siku ya leo tunawaambia tukiwa hapa Wundanyi ya kwamba tarehe 6 mwezi wa pili tunangojea the ruling, na kama vile MyCO ametangulia kusema ni kwamba hata tukishindwa we'll go to Supreme Court and we'll fight to the latter.
Hilo ni jambo ambalo between now and 2027 tunafaa kusaidia kabla ya uchaguzi. Tuweze kuweka hii hazina kwa katiba ili wale wanatupiganisha na vitengo vingine vya serikali wakose njia nyingine. Kwa sababu wakienda kotini wanasema kwamba hii hazina hii iko kinyume na katiba. Sasa sisi tutauliza, kwa vile wananchi wanataka hazina ya National Government CDF, situiweke katika katiba.
Mara ya kwanza shule zetu, na director amesema hapa anafanya analysis ya mashule zetu. Hawa grade 9s wamefanya vizuri sana. Tunapata all the schools in Wundanyi have children going to national schools. 3-1 schools, all schools. Haijai happened in the previous regime.
And police in Lugari, Kakamega County have seized 20 kilograms of bang, estimated to be over 200,000 shillings, and arrested one suspect. Lugari Deputy County Commissioner Jeremiah Tumo says the officers laid an ambush and intercepted a vehicle transporting the narcotics following a tip-off from members of the public. Tumo reaffirmed that security agencies in Lugari will not relent in the fight against the sale and use of illicit drugs in the area, saying those involved will be dealt with according to the law. The suspect is held at Lumakanda police station.
That consignment was the last consignment. We suspect that the suspect was selling several other consignments along Busia towards Lumakanda. Is a long trouser that is similar to what we don as police officers, but it is not the exact kind of trouser that our officers really put on. I think it is just a way of camouflaging so that you can outwing members of public and those who would believe him that he is one of us, but indeed he is not.
Very well, at about 27 minutes past the top of the hour, you're due for a fast break. But when we come back, we still have more news. I'll run you through a couple of more stories. Then on our business segment, we'll be looking at women agripreneurship and how that is securing Kenya's food production. That and more after this break.
You think that I love him and that I would do anything to save him. However, let Let me make this clear. I despise the man.
Who are you trying to fool, Mom? I know you're interested in him. Honey,
Just admit it.
You are interested in him.
Fine then.
I'm very much interested in him.
It's that easy? The investigation's still open, so we need to be able to find you easily. That means you can't leave the city anytime soon, nor do whatever it is you want. That goes for your father as well. Do me a favor, and make sure he gets the message.
But I hate the fact that she has everything, while I have nothing.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street. Critical issues are going to be discussed. From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words. Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted. We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, KNUT, has challenged the newly elected leaders from KC Central Branch to uphold teamwork and prioritize the interest of teachers as they work towards delivering their mandate to the union. Speaking at Njue Teachers Training College in Kisii after the elections, KNUT First National Woman Representative Mercy Kiambati noted that the comprehensive nature of elections reflected the strength, support, and democratic spirit of the union. On his part, Kisii Central Branch Secretary General Albert Ondimu termed the election process as free and fair, thanking the Labour officer for overseeing and ensuring a credible process. Seats contested during the elections included treasurer, vice treasurer, and the persons with disabilities representatives. The positions of Secretary General and Chairman were filled unopposed.
Na nitasimama na wao katika siku zote. Nashukuru kwa maana najua walimu wetu wanahitaji services and it's against this background. Nasema tutafanya kazi kwa pamoja.
I want to ask my colleagues who have been elected today, we work together so that we can serve the teachers of this branch with a lot of integrity.
Walikuja kwa wingi manake ya mapenzi yale wako nayo ya chama. Na tunapongeza pia wale viongozi, secretary na chairperson, other steering members wa branch wale si hawakuwa opposed. Hii ni kuonyesha ya kwamba walimu wa Kisii branch wako na imani na kazi yao.
well, time to make sense of shillings and cents in business. Airtel Money Kenya has done a major system upgrade that has strengthened cybersecurity, a critical move in safeguarding the mobile money ecosystem. Airtel Money Kenya Managing Director Njue Otieno says by shifting the microservices-based platform, the company now isolates faults without an outage of services, which has significantly improved uptime. She says the new system makes the platform future-ready while enabling faster expansion of services and partnerships.
We then upgraded our systems, and that system upgrade is not only improving the the security, because mobile money, of course, you can understand these needs to really embrace cybersecurity. So we've improved our security. We've gone on what we call microservices. So if there's anything wrong in the system, the whole system doesn't have to come down. You only deal with that small section that is causing problems. And the beauty about microservices is that you then have significant uptime compared to before. So we are now future ready from a platform perspective.
Very well, time for our interactive segment. Many thanks indeed for keeping me company. And as I had mentioned earlier, we'll be looking at women agripreneurs in securing Kenya's food future. You'll bear me witness that after UN declared 2026 the International Year of the Woman Farmer, attention now is turning and shifting to how women are shaping up our food baskets in our country. And allow me, without further ado, to introduce my guest, who is Catherine Rugasira Rusagara. I hope I've mentioned it right. Yes, who is the head of program delivery youth entrepreneurship for the future of food and agriculture, YEFA, at AGRA.
Yes.
Maybe you can start by telling us what exactly you do at YEFA.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. The Youth Entrepreneurship for the Future of Food and Agriculture, YEFA, is a youth program that is focusing on building jobs within the agriculture sector for youth, especially women. We are looking at 50% of the jobs that we create to be focused on women. The program is doing this through catalytic investments, gender-responsive catalytic investments, that are really addressing the needs of the women agripreneur, that are really addressing the needs of the youth. It's making sure that our smallholder farmers have resilience to address subsistence farming with climate change. And it's also working with governments, working with partnerships to make sure that we are addressing the systemic barriers that are excluding women from participating in the agribusiness sector.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we need to be catalysts to make sure that we are providing women with access to the agriculture sector with the right systems, the right products, the right financial services to be able to participate in the market systems and trade.
And it's true whatever you're saying, because 76% of Kenya's agriculture labor is women, from flower farms to small-scale farmers to even from large-scale farmers. But yet, they remain highly undersupported. What does this reveal about our agri-food system?
They remain highly undersupported, and it shows that 20 to 30% of their farmers produce less yield, 20 to 30% less yield.
Mm-hmm.
So it reveals is that some of them are locked out of the system. It reveals that they don't always have access to functional supportive systems. This can be market systems, financial systems, land systems, that would then allow them to participate equally and to have an equal opportunity to now develop thriving agribusinesses. So what is our role? As partners, we have to work together to ensure that we are providing women agripreneurs with the opportunity to access the right systems to be able to participate and increase the yield on their farms and be able to move from subsistence farming to commercialization.
And the UN declared 2026, as I mentioned, the International Women for the Day for the Year for the Woman Farmer, especially. How significant is it for our Kenyan context. We have seen the head of state, since he got into power, he has really leveraged on farming and agriculture, especially when it comes to boosting women.
I hope that this year we're all going to really rise above collectively. And I think it's not really a choice anymore or a case of charity. I think women have to be empowered. They have to be given the right tools. They have to be given the right supportive systems, because agriculture is the engine of growth. Historically, we've seen that if countries have moved from low income to middle income, it has been through agriculture transformation. So we have to strengthen the women agripreneur. We have to empower the women agripreneur to make sure that we then impact the growth of food security, and we also impact the growth of the economy as well. So this year should be a year where we really come together collectively to impact the agri-women farmer by building catalytic investments that will allow the agripreneur to participate in an inclusive agri-food system.
Yeah, and women-led agribusinesses, they do perform well, but unfortunately earn less as compared to their male counterparts. Why is this gap, and how can we be able to close that gap?
The gender gap actually presents a 1 trillion opportunity. So we have to close this gap. There is no question about it. The reason why has quite a few variables, from market systems that are exclusive, from financial systems that exclude women from having access to credit, gender-responsive credit, from societal cultural norms as well that are biased against women. So it's not just one thing, it's a whole host of things. And that's why we say multi-stakeholder partnerships addressing these inequalities is key to transforming the agriculture sector.
And let's talk about middlemen. From where I come from, I've seen a number when it comes to middlemen, when you talk about avocados, macadamia, mangoes, especially now that we're in the season of mangoes. Yeah. How do they, and also informal middlemen, how do they affect women agripreneurs?
I think they tend to affect the general value chain. And I think the challenge there is the price inequality that can sometimes occur. But there is positiveness to the middlemen, because it's a logistics equation. Very often the big buyers cannot get to the small farms, and therefore the aggregator or the broker plays a significant role. The question is, how is that role being played? And can we then structure the value chain to make sure that qualitative pricing and equal pricing is available to the woman agripreneur, and that they're not paid less than they should be as well. So it's really building those systems to make sure that it's an inclusive and equitable system that's available to the woman agripreneur.
What's some pearls of wisdom that you can give the agripreneurs there, and especially women there, to scale their businesses from small scale to maybe middle or even large scale?
I think one of the things that we have seen working in YEFA is to understand that agribusiness is a feasible, economically feasible business, but you must understand how to run the business. You must be able to be financially literate, you must be able to understand how to do marketing, you must be able to increase your productivity and quality as well. So the number of aspects there that we, from the YEFA program, actually train women on, not only the technical skills, but also the soft skills and the leadership skills as well. So the women are ready, I would say. What they're looking for is a system, is collective partnerships to make sure that we are giving them the opportunities as well. So to the women out there, be bold, be brave, and make sure that you remain in the agribusiness sector, because the inclusive agribusiness sector is developing, and we as partners are committed to working to build that.
And speaking of partners, how are you as YEFA specifically helping these young farmers, and especially the young female farmers? Because even if we look at the age demographics in Kenya, most farmers are more or less 40 and above. They're not the young people, they're not the Gen Zs.
Actually, Gen Zs do want to do farming, but they find that, again, they're locked out of the system. So what the YEFA program is doing is picking the right partners. For example, picking the financial institutions to build inclusive financial models, working with our local chiefs to address some of the societal cultural challenges that are being faced by women, which means that we're now promoting a strong network of female farmers to train other female farmers. It also means that we're working with the private sector to allow women to be linked to different off-takers. So we work with partners as the YEFA program to make sure that we're providing the access that women might not ordinarily have, and really making sure the system is accessible by women as well.
And looking at the agriculture food chain, value chain, which offers the best opportunities for young farmers?
It depends on the farmer aspiration. There isn't the one best, because there are opportunities across the entire value chain. So really it's for the youth to be able to understand the EFA program, is that we're able to offer the opportunities and explain and expound and support the youth to access those opportunities within the different value chain. There's obviously opportunities for smallholder farmers from productivity. There are huge opportunities for value addition as well, and agro-processing. There's huge opportunities both on-farm and off-farm as well. And we need both. The agriculture sector needs both. So you cannot promote one without the other. If you're promoting productivity, then you need a market to be able to absorb that supply and productivity. So we would say that opportunities exist across the value chain. We don't forget technology and the digital aspect. And this is key for the women agripreneur, because we are seeing a digital divide, which is sometimes overlooked. So 25% more women are accessing the internet less. So it's important that we close this digital gap, because if you're not accessing the internet, you're missing out on e-commerce platforms, market linkages, knowledge and technology. So we also have to ensure that as we're building a technical or technology-driven agriculture sector, we are making sure that it's inclusive and that women are involved in this.
There are many institutions and even organizations that offer agriculture credit, but less than 10% gets to women farmers. How do we change this?
I think it's important to understand that what are we offering? Are we offering what suits us, or are we offering gender responsive incentives? For example, in Malawi, we're working with a microfinance, and the women there are accessing credits, and they're accessing credits through inputs. So they're given inputs, and then they pay back the credit once they have harvested. So it always depends on the service offering as well. So it might be being offered, but is it reaching the women as well? Are they aware of it? And are we offering the right product or service that the woman agripreneur needs?
And how does, we've had PPPs even on our roads and even on agriculture. How does public-private partnership also help to, and even organization like AGRA, help us close the finance gap?
Yeah, AGRA is plays a catalytic role, so coordinating between government, private sector, financial institutions, and is to really play the role of making sure that we strengthen and design inclusive, driven systemic interventions. So it comes from the design. That's where it begins. So if we're intentional right from the beginning, then we're going to achieve an impactful, sustainable end. So to me, it's about designing those right financial models that we spoke about, and making sure that they reach the woman agripreneur as well.
And before we wrap up this conversation, what is the message that you would want to offer of hope, and maybe on what Kenyan women farmers need to do to change 2026? Is there a year after all?
I think the onus is on us. I think the women are doing what they can, but the onus is on the multi-stakeholder partnerships. The onus is on having gender-responsive policies. The onus is of investments providing gender-responsive financing. The onus is on market providers, off-takers, private sector, being inclusive and reaching out to women. So the three have to work together if we're going to reform the agriculture sector, if we're going to have an inclusive agriculture sector that can drive economic growth.
And for the young farmers who have been watching this conversation and would like to get in touch with you for the programs that you guys offer, how can they reach you?
They can always reach us on our AGRA website. I think that is the most accessible by everybody and easily to find us. So you'll be able to access the AGRA on our AGRA website. And I encourage all the youth farmers we need you for the future. You are the future of agriculture. So please do continue farming, because it's through to you and up to you that we shall build a resilient agriculture inclusive sector.
All right, I have been speaking to Catherine Rugasira Rusagara. Apologies. Apologies, I got confused there a bit. But she's the head of program delivery, youth entrepreneurship for the future of food and agriculture, YEFA at Agra. Been talking about women agripreneurship in securing Kenya's food future. And as you've heard, the opportunities, the strength, and 2026 is the year for you, especially you young agricultural farmers, especially the young ladies. Let's take a look at more news where United States President Donald Trump has urged major oil companies to rapidly invest in Venezuela as the White House seeks to secure up to $100 billion in private sector funding to revive the country's vast oil industry. Speaking to oil executive at White House, Trump sought to ease concerns over political instability, assuring investors of government-backed protection as Washington moves to assert greater control over Venezuelan oil production and export. More details of this and other stories in our global roundup.
President Donald Trump has assured oil executives that they will have total safety as he urged them to rapidly invest in the country's energy sector. Prime leaders cautioned that the sector remains uninvestable under current conditions, citing weak legal frameworks, limited investment protections, and ongoing political uncertainty that continue to deter renewed engagement. Meanwhile, the agreement between China and the European Union on providing guidance for price undertakings by Chinese exporters of passenger battery electric vehicles is expected to help stabilize industrial and supply chains. According to China's Ministry of Commerce, the move seeks to address concerns in a practical and targeted manner consistent with World Trade Organization rules. The European Commission issued guidance on submitting price undertaking offers, outlining key areas such as minimum import prices, sales channels, cross-compensation, and future investments within the EU. Finally, Just Mike Subs is taking its signature sandwiches overseas with its first European expansion planned for later this year in the UK and Ireland. Leading the effort is the brand's founder and board chair Peter Cancro. Through his company, JM Submarines UK Limited, the agreement calls for 400 stores to open across 2 countries, marking the first step in the broader international growth strategy. Sylvia Gatti for Lunchtime News.
Magu of Football Excellence Academy has been selected by the Confederation of African Football to represent Kenya in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations final in Morocco as a ball kid, otherwise known as a ball boy. Damian, who captains Football Excellence Academy football team, is the only young player from Kenya who has been selected for this prestigious opportunity, together with 4 other players from Ghana, Senegal, Morocco, and Nigeria. He was selected through a special program that involves previous Total Energies competitions, local grant in the social media contest category, and proved to be successful. Football Excellence Academy is based in Nairobi, where it nurtures young football talent, providing pathways for their development as well. And further afield, Liverpool beat Barnsley 4 goals to 1 in the FA Cup third round at Anfield to set up a meeting between Brighton. They took 9 minutes to take the lead through midfielder Dominic Szoboszlai before Jeremy Flimpong made it 2-0 after 27 minutes. Adam Phillips reduced the deficit before the break to give hope to the travelling team. But it was not to be, as Liverpool came back determined to bag all the important points and ensured that before the final whistle through Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike. That was in England. And in Spain, Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso has left the club by mutual consent, according to the La Liga side, and his place taken over by his former teammate Alvaro Abiola with immediate effect. Alonso had been in charge of the Spanish Giants for less than 8 months, and they have struggled since then in the La Liga and UEFA Champions League. They were beaten by Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup on Sunday and are currently behind the La Liga leaders by 4 points. Meanwhile, in France, Paris Saint-Germain PSG were shocked out of the French Cup by Paris FC, who beat them by a solitary goal in the last 32 thanks to Jonathan Ikone. PSG were the defending champions and have won 4 of the 6 previous cups.
Cadré comme cette frappe qui passe à côté de Bradley Barcola. Rares auront été les opportunités. Barcola, et ce n'est toujours pas récompensé face à une équipe de Paris FC qui défend parisienne. Deuxième période avec une nouvelle fois Obed Cambadio devant Gonçalo Ramos, titulaire. Le Portugais, lui, qui avait fait le but de l'égalisation dans les dernières secondes il y a quelques jours lors du Trophée des Champions face à l'OM. Warren Zaïre-Emery qui s'essaye, c'est repoussé par Obed Cambadio. Les Parisiens qui ont eu 20 tirs avec très peu de tirs cadrés, comme cette frappe qui passe à côté de Bradley Barcola.
That's a wrap. Many thanks indeed for joining us. And for football lovers, Newcastle and Manchester City are locked in a game this evening in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-finals, with Arsenal facing Chelsea tomorrow night. Well, of course, you can trust our football desk with all the latest goal sounds and the results as well. My name is Njue. Lucy Maura has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Mugo Karaoke has been my director up there. Many thanks indeed for keeping it Channel 1, of course, on all our social media spaces. Not forgetting our KBC digital app. Do have yourself a pleasant afternoon. Goodbye.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels.
For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka?